Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about signs a breakup is coming.
Look out for these warning signs.
Yeah, maybe you're in a situation where you're feeling like your ex is pulling away, you've not been getting along, and now you're starting to wonder, are we going to break up? Maybe things have been silent, but you could feel that distance. You know something's not right in your gut. And, it's interesting because sometimes a breakup will completely blindside you. You have no idea. No idea that they're going to leave you, and you're just shocked. And sometimes we miss those small signs, those warning signs. And, if you're not really emotionally attuned to your partner, you can miss stuff easily.
Oh, yeah. You don't know how many people that I talk to that in our sessions, we're self-reflecting back on the relationship and they're thinking, well, there was this moment and that moment. And I guess there was that moment. The pieces start coming together, and you start becoming more and more aware after the fact. So that's why we're sharing this video with you, is that we want you all to be more aware of some of these signs, some of the things that you can see when a partner is pulling away. Before we begin, I did want to say Craig and I are available for coaching sessions. So if you would like to talk about your situation one-on-one with us, head to the website and you can book from there.
Yep, absolutely. We'll be happy to help you out. So what do we got for the warning signs?
All right, one of the biggest ones.
What do you look out for?
Oh, we see this one a lot, is asking for a break. A lot of times asking for a break comes before a breakup. And a lot of times it's how you handle that break that can make or break it.
Yep.
But asking for a break oftentimes is a partner, testing the waters with the breakup. They don't want to fully commit to severing the relationship, to ending it. And so they say, what would it be like to spend 3 weeks apart? What would it be like to be single? They want a taste of it. And normally that can be a major warning sign before they make a final decision. Yep.
Sometimes there's somebody else lingering in the background that they're interested in. Sometimes it's because, things haven't been going well between you both and they've been frustrated. So a lot of different reasons somebody could ask for a break.
Another major one is if their communication patterns are changing. So if you notice that your partner is texting a lot less, if you notice that they're not calling as often, you're not seeing them as frequently, they're not being as open, or the depth of conversation isn't what it was. Keep in mind that there could be periods in a relationship where maybe a partner is very busy at work, or maybe a partner's family is sick and they're preoccupied from other areas and they're not necessarily distancing because they want to break up.
That's right.
But emotionally speaking, sometimes they can be already thinking in their mind, I'm not sure where this relationship is going. I'm going to close in on myself and, preserve my resources emotionally.
Yep.
So that can be a way that a partner distances. You notice their communication is different and normally less frequent and less intense. Another major one is shady behavior. You start to see their phone is facing down all the time. They start taking their phone to the bathroom.
They start going out with coworkers all the time.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not necessarily that they're even cheating. Sometimes it's that they are having more frank conversations with their friends about how they feel about the relationship. There's always those jokes and those memes that say, I'm more scared of my partner finding my group chat rather than, any chat with any person of the opposite sex. So sometimes we will divulge brutally honest information to our friends that we don't want our partner to see. And so some of that shady behavior could be somebody else in the background. It could be that they are starting to be more honest with other people around them about the issues that they see in the relationship.
Yeah, sometimes they just want to feel single first and see if they like it.
Yeah.
Like they start pretending like they're single, not necessarily cheating, but I don't have to answer to anybody. I can do what I want. I can go where I want. And they get a little taste of it and do I want this or do I want the relationship?
Exactly. Another major sign that we often see that a breakup might be near is a defeated type of attitude. Sometimes in a relationship, one partner will start to feel depressed. They start to feel complacent. they start to feel hopeless. They start thinking that things will never change, things will never be different. And so if you start to notice that your partner has a defeatist attitude, you start thinking, well, our relationship isn't as lively as it once was. Let's try couples therapy. Let's go on a walk together. Let's try to connect on some way. And they kind of have this attitude of, why would it matter anyways? This is all just going to lead to an end. Or low motivation for the relationship. That can be a sign of them distancing, of them considering a breakup, maybe dealing with some personal issues on their own that they're not letting you in on. That's what, some people who are dealing with depression, they feel they have to deal with it on their own. Definitely. So we do see that.
Yep.
You can almost get the sense that your partner has given up. It's almost like you can feel it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another sign of depression, and it's also a sign that a breakup is coming, is irritability. When they are so testy around you, they are annoyed by your presence. I just had it in a call today. The relationship, it was actually, this is a guy, you did a coaching with him a couple years ago. He did coaching with myself and Margaret and you. And as soon as I saw him, I knew who he was. I remembered. I think we did 2 or 3 calls. And he got his ex back. And I told him this. I could tell. I remembered. I said, you got to do the work. You got to do the work. You got to do the work. And you know what we say. You always put yourself on probation for 9 months. He didn't. He wound up getting back with the ex. They've been together a couple years now. Maybe like 2.5 years. They've been back together. He didn't give me a success story. And now they're in another breakup. And she was so irritable with him. And he made a bunch of mistakes. He had forgotten the stuff we teach on the channel. Made a bunch of mistakes. And he was spending way too much time with her because they hadn't officially completely broken up yet. And then the irritability was really coming out. That lashing out, the mean. She started saying a bunch of really mean things to him. And, he's trying to turn it around. But I'm telling you, they're not quite at the breakup yet. They're like right there. And I could just see that he has really got to back off and give her some space to let her really think if this is what she wants to go through with. Yeah,
and it makes me think of John Gottman's 4 Horsemen, where he says these are some of the best predictors of divorce, that a separation is coming. And this makes me think of John Gottman's 4 Horsemen, where he talks about 4 major traits that he sees in a couple that tends to lead to their divorce. They're predictors of divorce and separation. And I believe they're contempt, stonewalling, defensiveness, and criticism. So, when you start to see that irritability, sometimes it comes out as contempt, sometimes it comes out as criticism, but you're starting to see your partner get more and more short with you. That can be one of the signs that they are thinking about, ending the relationship and are getting to the point where they can't anymore.
Yep.
Another major one that we see is comparisons or talk of singleness. And this can be if they have peers that are single and, they're constantly saying, oh, so-and-so is dating so-and-so, or so-and-so broke up with so-and-so, or comparing you with previous partners or other potential partners. That's the worst.
Yeah.
Well, so-and-so doesn't treat me this way. And so the idea of my life could be different, I could be with a different partner, I have options here, is becoming more and more apparent.
Yeah, they start to look at the other options and they're starting to think about, is this really what I want? Or do I want to be single?
Right. And a lot of times
the grass is greener.
Yes, grass is greener syndrome. A lot of times we as partners hear this and then we start to focus in on our hurt and pain, rightfully so, because it hurts to hear those types of things. But we fail to look deeper into what's going on with them.
Yep.
Another major sign is dismissiveness, or this everything is okay type of attitude.
Yep.
We talked about it earlier where sometimes...
What's wrong?
Right. Oh, everything's fine. Everything's okay.
No, I'm fine. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I've been really stressed lately. I'm just tired.
And this is so tough. This is so tough because it gives you just enough reassurance to continue the relationship and sometimes even invest further. You really believe that this is going to work out despite you sensing that something is off.
Yep.
And that can be so, so painful.
So what do you do?
What do you do? Man, these situations are really tough.
Yeah, what do you do?
Sometimes we end up, we talked in the beginning about how sometimes these things can go right over our heads. Sometimes when we begin noticing them, the complete opposite happens. We become hyper aware. We are now focusing on every little behavior and thing that they are doing that distances them from us, which causes us to overcompensate. Now we are making so much meaning out of every little distancing behavior, and it causes us to have our anxiety skyrocket. Our behavior starts to be controlling. We start to want to fix. We tend to close in on our partner and want to find reasons and find understanding and answers. And what ends up happening to them in this case?
I don't know. They run?
They run. They run. They tend to feel trapped. They tend to feel smothered. And this is that anxious avoidant dynamic that we see so often. And remember that not all distancing behavior is breakup behavior. So these are signs that a breakup is coming, but it doesn't mean that a breakup has already happened. And sometimes we see these behaviors and we act like a breakup has already happened. And, it backfires on us. These are some signs that your partner might need more space, might need you to check in, but might not. Might need something completely different.
Yep. So you got to learn to soothe yourself. This is why we always talk about doing the work, doing the creative healing course, doing our workbooks, because that soothing yourself is huge in keeping the attraction and keeping you from making a lot of mistakes.
Exactly. And remember connection. Oftentimes we get so hyper-focused on the distancing and on the issues and on the problems that we forget to have positive interactions with our partners. And so remember connection, play, and really having those present moments with them. Now that's going to make more of a difference in them considering to stay in the relationship than you trying to fix and control.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
You try and overtalk it and just people get so overwhelmed. There's only so much of that they can take.
Yeah. And also making it safe for your partner to express whatever is going on. Oftentimes we try to get them to say it. We try to ask them questions. We try to force it out of them like we're squeezing the end of a ketchup bottle, trying to get that last drop out. But instead, if you're able to create that safe container, whenever you're ready, let's talk about it.
Yep.
I can see something is off. Take your time.
But you can't get angry when they do tell you. That's another aspect of making it safe, is that you can't blow up at them and get so furious and enraged because they're maybe being distant or something.
Yeah. And a really great resource for that is the book Nonviolent Communication. That's a really great book, and it gives a lot of tools on how to communicate with a partner and create that emotional safety. Yeah, so that's one that I would really recommend. Another thing that's important is being able to sit with their doubt. Guys, it is completely normal to have doubts in a relationship. Even couples who have been married for many, many years experience that. It is normal. And so being able to say, I have these doubts, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm ready to end it yet. I have these doubts, but now I have a decision to make. A lot of people say that a relationship is a choice every day to stay with your partner.
Yeah.
And remember that adult love is not unconditional. I had to think about that double negative. So it is conditional.
It's not
It's
unconditional.
not. It's not unconditional. It is conditional. Meaning that, at any point a partner can say, hey, I don't want to be in this relationship. And they're not legally obliged to take care of you. I mean, yes, marriage in some states, alimony, etc. That's a whole other conversation. But as adults, we can opt out of a relationship.
This is why you always want to be someone's best option. And this is why you really want to be the best version of yourself.
Right. So being able to sit with their doubt, their anger, their confusion, their sadness is really important as a partner. Being able to say, I understand that you have doubts. I do too sometimes.
Yeah.
How can I be there for you and support you through this? That can go a long way. And taking accountability where accountability needs to be taken. If you see that your partner has made these complaints or comments for a long time and you're now seeing them, they're irritable because their needs haven't been met, pay attention to that. Think about, why are they irritable? Don't just say, oh, my partner's angry at me all the time, or oh, my wife nags at me all the time. Well, why? Let's go a little bit deeper here and try to gain some understanding. So taking accountability where you can. And the last big one that people don't do as often as they should, and it's so simple. We learned this skill in kindergarten, I'm pretty sure. But it's apologizing. Some of us, depending on which kindergarten you went to. But it's apologizing. You know, how often do we say, I'm sorry? And no, I'm not sorry that you feel that way. Or, I'm sorry that's tough for you. But genuinely...
I'm sorry I met you.
Right.
That one? Is that
I'm sorry we're together. I'm sorry I'm the worst partner ever. But
that sounds healthy.
Oh, no.
You're apologizing. I like that.
For being the worst partner. But genuinely being able to say, I'm sorry, I am remorseful here. I'm showing some healthy remorse and guilt.
I want to jump in,
Okay.
but we're not telling you to break no contact
No.
and apologize.
No.
Okay, we need to throw that out there because everybody's already writing their apology to their text or their ex right now. I'm so sorry. Coach Victoria told me to say it.
No.
No. Don't reach out to apologize. The time will come when it's ready.
Right. And this is before a breakup has happened. So these are some signs that you're seeing, some things that you're noticing.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is a lot of information in this one. Hopefully it was helpful to you. And of course, if you want to get our help personally, you could get it on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Victoria is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name at the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.